All right, hello everybody tuning in. Just gonna jump into the first game here of diarouga versus Lucas L99.
And the game will be a China mirror on Tibet, probably the China map par excellence. It's like the best China map, so pretty much it
Seems
has
like
a lot of livestock.
the obvious choice.
Yeah, especially since Lucas kind of, I think we can say that China is his main civ in supremacy. He kind of plays all the Asian civs mostly, I think, and
Hon-
diarouga plays China as well. So.
Honestly, don't know a lot about Lucas L99 as far as supremacy is concerned. Obviously, everybody knows he's a really strong treaty player, and diarouga doesn't need much introduction. Been around for quite a while.
Mhm.
And obviously really solid supremacy player, and he's expected to take this match or
Yeah,
take this series 3-0 without any problems.
yeah. Both players picking up small wood treasure in their base, kind of speeding up their next village. Um, Diaruga going for the middle map to scout. I like that more than what Lucas is doing, who's going for the sides. Although I suppose if you get lucky with the yaks, in the end you can both equally get same amount of cows. I feel. Um, Seems like um, both just going for early village and no TP openings. That's also possible.
Yeah, definitely both gonna go for an early second village by the looks of it, because otherwise both of them probably would have laid down a TP by now.
Hmm.
Which just lets China
Um,
have a 3 villager shipment instead of 2.
yeah, none of them really going for the big treasures in the middle. Tairuga complaining that he has got 0 cows, but he kind of walked past all of them.
He's the ones here. He snaked those, like he went like
Yeah,
all the way around.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And these two, he missed those two, and now likely Lucas will pick them up. And
Lucas on 3 cows right
yeah,
now.
making it 5.
Doesn't seem overly confident in himself
Yeah,
at the
and
moment.
he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't know the map. He should know that if you see one yak in the middle, that there's always a second one close by it, and
Hmm.
he's not going for it. Also, he's going for the coin treasure, which is like out of all the treasures that spawn in the middle, the coin treasure is like the one you want to take the most. You could go for a wood, or the wood is like the one you want the most, but food treasures are also nice. And he went for the coin instead, and he's also not really going for the other yaks. I'd say like these yaks kind of are the most important thing on the map. I would go for yaks over treasures even.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. A lot of newer players don't realize how important the yaks are.
Hmm.
Now Dairuga's got himself a yak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, yeah, I found he's up to 4 now.
they're both kind of even in the treasure war. I mean, Diaruga got the wood, but he got it so late that he'll probably use this for another TP. He's gonna find 2 more yaks in the middle now that will kind of put him ahead in the yak battle. Although it's 5 against 6 now, so he's not far ahead by any means.
And that's all the yaks on the map, which they might
Is it?
not know, but yep,
All
yeah, it
right.
is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty equally distributed. I do like what Lucas is doing. He already sent the Vil to the side to herd. That's something that Diaruga is doing now as well. Probably Diaruga is doing it in the better order. You probably want to age up first and then send your Vils. Um, Lucas putting five Vils on the Wonder. I think a 4 is the best because the first 4 Vils knock off 10 seconds from the Wonder building time, while the next 4 you can only put 8 max, only knock off 5 seconds. So after 4, it becomes like less optimal to put a Vil on the Wonder. So I prefer to do only 4, and sometimes when I'm going Fortress I put 8, but usually only 4.
Interesting. A lot of things I don't know about China because I almost never play China.
It's this. It's for every Asian civ. Like it's like that. It takes like 2 minutes to build a wonder without vills on it, and every first villager knocks off 10 seconds, and then the next 4 knock off 20 seconds. So you can age up within 1 minute if you put 8 vills on the wonder. I do like Lucas's wonder placement more than I like diarouga's, to be honest.
Yeah, he definitely has this choke point pretty well. I mean, I'm fairly under control with that wonder.
Yeah, exactly. That said, Diarouga is going for a TP in transition, and that 90 would kind of making it easier for him to do so. And Lucas doesn't go for the wonder, so I feel like this is definitely favored for Diarouga in the long run. It will probably give Lucas like a very small window, if at all, like 30 seconds maybe to punish this TP, but most likely there is no window at all. So it's really quite safe to go for that. Sorry, for that TP in transition, at least in a mirror. I mean, in some other matchups you might not. It might slow your age up down too much. But in a mirror, I feel like there's really no reason why you shouldn't get that TP in transition.
Yeah, Diarouga only about 100 or so food and coin behind.
Yeah.
So,
And he's now eating his yaks as well to kind of make up for that, right? And
yeah, to
that's where
catch
the
up.
yaks are so good. And we
That's
see that,
also that's also really smart play to
yeah,
know that he's
exactly.
going to be slightly behind and to eat one of those yaks, or
Yeah.
yeah, just one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very well thought out play here. We see no intention from Lucas to eat those yaks, but he didn't really need to because he didn't make a TP. Maybe
Going up,
he'll make a TP with the 700 wood. If he does that, then he shouldn't be too far behind.
yeah, Lucas going up with 4 vills on the wonder. Same thing with Diarouga.
Yep.
And now it's just going to be the battle of the China fortress.
Diarouga putting his disciple in in cover mode there for a second, and that
Saved,
made it
yeah, it
made it
saved his
survive with
life.
1 hit point. He would have still died if Lucas would have kept shooting, but he probably thought that that would have killed him, so he didn't shoot more.
Mm. Might also
Nice little trick. I mean, in the end, I don't think it will matter much. It'd probably be better to just let it die because now it has like super low hit points, but it still takes 1 from the disciple cap. Still for line of sight and scouting, it's nice. And we see a basic setup coming out of both players. War Academy, Consulate, Market from actually only from Diarouga. We see no Market or anything yet from Lucas. He is now going for a TP. And this might indicate actually that he might try to do some sort of FI. He is building a second village. Now
he's
very
going
late,
down.
we see a War Academy. This order of things means that he's kind of delaying his consulate, and I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, if he gets it up in time, it's not a big deal, but... And we see that the standard army coming from Lucas, which gives him 2 step riders, which is probably a bit better to be annoying, but in the long run, it's probably the worst army, and he's not controlling it right. He's losing 1 stepper rider here kind of for free, and also now losing his choke canoes because he's not having the best control. Did pick off all the
Pikeman.
pikemen indeed, and the low HP disciple, but did lose like all his choke canoes in return as well. So kind of little skirmish there. Diarouga coming ahead, but not by much. So
Diarouga playing super standard now, as his redcoats out and a batch of cav.
yep.
Well,
And Consulate coming up now. He's only building it with 1.
and also,
Bill
adding his
and a
market as
market.
well.
Yeah, so
Just
he's kind of just behind 1 step.
yeah, it just seems like almost the exact same build, just a little bit behind, just getting up his trade post.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
several minutes later, and then probably a minute or so later on the consulate in the market.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same build, but just a lot less refined here from Lucas.
Yeah, so diarouga just showing his something slipping my
His
mind.
skill.
Yeah, his skill, I guess, is just his experience.
I don't know if he has that much experience, but he does know. He's very good with his build orders. He hasn't played for that long, so that's why I'm saying that he doesn't have as much experience as maybe other players. But definitely he knows his build orders and he has good mechanics. So definitely a player to watch out for. He is now going to put on some aggression, and both players kind of having mirrored armies, but Green being out of position here for a little bit. He does. It does appear he will get away with it. His musketeers being in the right spot to kind of protect his cav, and a batch of new cav popping out there. The defender's advantage, pretty much allowing him that he won't take any lasting damage from that engagement. And we now see that the scores and everything is pretty much equal. Diarouga, I think, is like a half shipment ahead. His 10 arquebusiers were just shipped, but now also
Actually,
Lucas just
yeah,
shipping his arquebusiers.
actually, Lucas seems to be almost a whole shipment ahead, which I
Uh,
can't
I
explain.
doubt that. Then he probably skipped one shipment. Probably. Or Diarouga is sending one now. Is it that seems very weird to me that he has a later TP and then he's a shipment ahead.
Yeah, unless diarouga's like about to get one out that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Because he did have a much later TP, but he is almost an entire shipment behind.
It's likely that there's one shipment on the way then. Kind of. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah,
Positioning out of Green here. His army, his ranged army can't be targeted by the cav, and he did have more cav actually. So I say in the end it was pretty good. His skirms can now pick off like all the musketeers without being threatened here, and it seems like he is gonna power through here, and that's very unexpected here. That Diarouga kind of found himself in that spot, and
now his
he is, yeah, it's looking quite scary here for him. He is feeding more cav into the fight, but I don't know if that's the right decision. He is being outnumbered here, and wow, Lucas.
Yeah.
It looks like Lucas might pick up this first game here. If there's nothing like coming out of Diarouga here to swing the momentum of. There's the 6 constant musk and more cav. So and the Changdao. So it's time. Yeah, time to back off here. And Lucas shipping the meteor hammers, and this might give Diarouga some time to recover.
But still, Lucas an entire shipment ahead now.
Well, no, I think it's the same. Lucas just shipped.
It's honestly not.
No.
No,
is he sending another shipment now because they both just sent the shipment?
I don't think so, because he got out those Changdao at the exact same time that Lucas got out 5 meteor hammers.
Yeah, and then they both shipped intervention, and they both shipped 10 arquebusiers.
Diarouga never shipped intervention. Oh no, there he is.
No, so he did.
Diarouga still. Okay, Diarouga comes out with 5 meteor hammers, and Lucas came out with 4 iron flails. So
okay, so they're equal.
No, they aren't. Diarouga's never shipped intervention.
Yeah, he did. They were in the fight. They all died.
Well, then it's not showing up on the UI.
No, intervention doesn't show up on the UI. That's
what showed up for Lucas.
That's strange.
You're right, it is.
Normally it doesn't show up, but anyway, that explains the confusion here. But I do like Lucas's position much better here, being in the defensive. If he can pick up these Changdaos with his muskets and his skirms, then he's just gonna clean up all this cav, and there's just really nothing in the back there.
Also
from Diarouga to really Minuteman also coming into the fight, army pop, and it seems like this was just a terrible engagement for Diarouga here.
Yeah, it just didn't even make much sense. Maybe he's feeling the pressure or something like that, but he just slammed everything in and lost about as hard as he possibly could have.
Yeah, exactly. And this is very surprising, actually. But now I think this is a good moment for Lucas to put on the counter pressure here. He just had two very good engagements, but we have to realize that this is just army that's being lost here. So if he doesn't convert it into eco damage, he might lose his lead somehow if he takes a bad engagement. But if he can kind of force diarouga of hunts or whatever, or just take a good engagement, then he's in a really good spot. I would really love to see Manchu coming now from Lucas, and maybe a switch to territorial army. 11 Chang Dao's being shipped by him, and
Yeah,
he's
bit of
kind
a
of
miss.
moving all his skirms in there. I don't like that.
Yeah, bit of a miss micro there.
Yeah. But if these Chang Daos aren't rallied to the fight, and they are really needed here because his cav are getting cleaned up, and this is what I said. Like right now, this fight just went so bad for Lucas that it kind of reset the two good fights that he had before, and because his 11 Chang Daos are being idle there, he just they could have been in the fight now and kind of helped him salvage it a little bit, but now it's just really terrible. And yeah, as fast as it is swung into his favor, it's now swinging back, not swinging back into diarouga's favor, but his advantage is kind of gone now. Like it's equal again now. So
Diarouga, for some reason, has his TC gather point set improperly, and he's been waltzing Vills just straight into his base for
okay,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
I
how
did see.
long. So
He
now,
lost one Vil, yeah.
now Lucas is up
Diarouga
6
shipping
Vills.
1,000 coin though. So that signals to me Manchu may be coming next, and I haven't seen a shipment for a while now from Lucas since the 11 Chang Daos were misrallied. That's really unfortunate because those Chang Daos, they could
Would have
have
made
won
a
him the
huge
game.
difference.
Yeah, they would have won the game if those were in the fight there. He would have cleaned up the cav, and there would have been no comeback possible from Diarouga. And it's now up to Lucas to kind of realize that Manchu are going to be like super deadly because neither player has a lot of skirms on the map. Both of them have been training mostly cavalry, so Manchu are going to really be devastating here when they do come out. And Lucas is now training territorial army, so that I think is the right choice. He sent double-faced armor. I'm not a fan of that at all. And I feel like if Manchu come out on the field now, and they do not come for Lucas within the next minute, that might kind of if Diarouga uses it right, he can win the game with that. There's a raid going on here. Yeah, you spotted
Looks
it,
like,
and that raid might go really poorly.
yeah, because he's
There's a
not
lot
watching.
of cav there, and he's not.
Oh,
Like the meteor hammers, they can snare it, right? So that's the annoying part of raiding China. If you get too close to the cav, they'll just get snared. He just only lost one, so it's not too bad.
yeah, I was expecting him to not be paying attention and just end up running
Not
straight in.
much more being trained here by Lucas. I don't know. I don't have the UI, so maybe you can tell me how much resources they are stacking.
Lucas actually is almost up to 2,000 food now, and has 300 coin. So
Might try to go industrial.
yeah, maybe, or he's just mismacroed like slightly. Diarouga had a lot of coin, but now it's dropped down. So I'm thinking he might have shipped Manchu.
Yeah, probably
And
Manchu.
maybe Lucas's double-faced armor. He's just gonna try and make a lot of skirmishers, and then
No, but the armor part is for cav.
Yeah, I know, and then just try and use the cab to tank while he kills the Manchus with his skirmishers. But
Yeah, I'm not sure. He should also use his consulate now, because they should both have 400 export. Diarouga already remaking his.
Yeah, Lucas on 500
musketeers.
export and Diarouga on 80 export. So
Yeah, Diarouga just made his musketeers, but Lucas seems to be forgetting about his export, and that's really unfortunate again because those are quite powerful units, and he could really use them in the fight against the Manchu. We see a lot of cav here now and again Lucas is going for an upgrade, and I think he'll just get outmassed here, and the upgrades in the end matter too much. His skirm's walking into the cavalry here. He's kind of being outpositioned. A lot of idle vills, and yeah, this is what I said. The Manchu just coming in here, and they're really being really powerful, and the cavalry Manchu army kind of cleaning up. 6 redcoats now do come into the fight. A lot of these Changdaos do drop though, and it seems quite close, but I think in the end there's enough cav and 4
Oh,
more cav,
there's
8 more cav coming in.
diarouga's coming. Just gonna
Yeah.
come out of this with so much cav,
Yeah. And
and
Lucas
then
resigns here,
yeah,
and
that is
uh,
about the end of the game.
really good game, and it was indeed very close. I think Lucas really, if he watches this rack back and he realizes that yeah, he mismacroed in the
Hmm.
end, but if he realizes that his Chang Dao's kind of being misrallied, that cost him the game. If those were rallied into the fight,
Well, I
he,
think
he won.
even if the Changdao had walked straight out, they might not have actually made it, or they might have made it just at the end there. Not sure if it would have made it
Well, he
game
could have.
winning.
I mean, he should have realized that he was sending Chang Dao's right, and just back out of the fight a little bit until the Chang Dao's come. I mean, they would have made it for sure.
Hmm.
I feel like it's not a big map. They wouldn't have to walk very far, and they were idle for like a minute while that fight was going on with like reinforcements trickling in and stuff. So they may not have like powered through there, but they would have salvaged the fight, and then he could have taken out 2 villages there, and like I don't know. I
It
really
could have
feel that.
just steamrolled
Yeah,
into
yeah, exactly.
the win.
Yeah, and then if diarouga is sending 1,000 coin, then I mean that's really gonna be problematic for him because yeah.
It's honestly really surprising that diarouga managed to come out with that game because of the fight at about like 14 at about 13, 14 minutes where diarouga entered Lucas's base
Yeah,
for the
that
first
was a
time. He
really bad
lost his
fight.
whole army for like free. Lucas
Diarouga
losing
had
7
to.
military units in exchange for
Yeah, that
34.
that fight went terrible, but then Lucas kind of traded his army back to diarouga, uh, well, pushing into his base, right? So
Hmm.
and that's kind of the thing that you have to be like wary about when you win a fight like that. You have to kind of consider, am I ahead in eco? If you're not ahead in eco, you have to push. If the eco is equal or you are ahead, then you can try to kind of do a controlled push, uh, or you can age up. Like if Lucas had shipped 1,000 coin and went industrial instead of pushing there, he also probably would have won if he had shipped 1,000 coins instead of Chang Dao's.
All right. We've been chatting a while. We should probably get out and move on to the next game. So 1-0 for diarouga now, and we're gonna be on to game 2. And diarouga is going to pick first, I think, unless they change the rules again for round of 16. No. Well, these guys certainly make civ picking really simple, and Hudson's Bay is the correct map. Yeah.
And we'll see a French mirror.
All right. So on to game 2, a second mirror. Maybe these guys decided that they would just do mirrors since the civ picking rules were designed to avoid mirrors through counter
Yeah,
civing.
I
And
don't think this is a smart choice by Lucas to kind of mirror into one of diarouga's best civs. Then again, the other civs that Lucas plays really well, like Japan and um, India, are not really civs that do that well against French. So it might be a good choice after all. I mean, as you said, you don't know Lucas too well. I don't know Lucas too well either. So I don't know what civs he feels comfortable with. But we saw last game that when it comes to mechanics and taking a fight, he definitely doesn't have to be afraid of diarouga. He has the skill to kind of go toe to toe with him in those kind of situations. He just has to pay attention to his macro and his build orders, and then he can do well. So let's see what they're going for. We see an early market coming out of Lucas. It was a 100 coin 100 wood start. So and both players kind of scouting the map for sheep. Lucas found 40 wood and Diarouga found 50 coin, and both of these treasures will kind of speed up the early market play. I don't know. You have any thoughts on this matchup?
Uh, not too many. I just remember everybody always thought it was really boring. French mirror is all I remember from my early tournament watching days. Was
I think
this
it.
would come on and people would just go and take a nap
I
because they
think we
found
had a
it
few
really boring.
exciting French mirrors, like
It
Acer game
well,
against Kaiser Klein was quite exciting, back and
yeah,
forth.
well, everybody thought that, but I thought French mirrors were fine. I thought they were
Yeah,
extremely technical and just
yeah,
one mistake could just spell doom.
yeah. You can play it really technical, but I think the matchup is also open for a lot of cheeses. Maybe not on this map, but definitely on Great Plains, for example. You can do a
We're
native
looking at
rush
you,
or
soldier.
huh?
I remember soldiers 12-10,
Yeah,
five
soldiers 12-10.
hussars.
Acer does 12-10 a lot. So um, yeah, definitely a lot of I think a lot of space for
For cheese.
variation. Cheese and variation, yeah. I mean, maybe not on this map, but on larger maps, a semi FF is definitely not out of the question. Diarouga already picked up 150 coin, and now also going for the 150 food. So he has come ahead in treasures here. Lucas picking up 120 coin in two separate treasures himself, and and now picking up 90 food. So it's all in all, it's pretty equal. Both players shipping 3 cœurs de bois pretty much the same time. And Lucas going for herding a bit later, but still in time, I feel. Yeah, on Hudson Bay, you spawn with 2 hunts near your base, and we saw that Diarouga tried to herd both of them early, but then let it go away. Slipped this one kind of slipped away, and this one slipped away for Lucas too, and he didn't even try to herd it.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like being France, you can herd really early, and you can both herd at this like you can herd both hunts
Yes,
without it causing you any delay.
just because of the
And
ZDB's additional speed.
yeah, and if the game goes into like a delayed H2 or like a aggressive H2 or a lot of raiding, then
Yeah, you're gonna definitely
not
want
hurting
those herded
these kind of hunts puts you at a disadvantage. We see Diarouga now trying to fix the situation, but I feel like they ran away too far already, maybe for him to
in.
even
Hmm.
put effort into that.
Picking up the 150 food treasure now. Honestly,
Yeah,
I find moose to herd really. Maybe it's just me, but I find them to herd really weird.
yeah, they
Sort of
hurt
like
kind of poorly.
elephants.
Yeah, they're all. It's also because they're a smaller hunt, right? It's just harder to hunt to
Yeah,
herd smaller hunts.
or to
Um,
tell which angle they're facing at specifically.
yeah,
Because you're gonna end up shooting them one way and they go not the way
we
you
might see
expected.
aggressive play coming out of Diarouga. He's seemingly forgoing a TP and not making a TP, and he's sending 2 vills
Yeah,
way forward. He did shoot the hunt. That's something that I don't like. I prefer to go on a mine or on trees.
you're not so easily
So
spotted.
yeah, exactly. I mean, um, I don't know if Lucas will look into that place, but that's definitely something that I would do to see if there are any dead hunts. Um, so Lucas, did he lose his scout? He lost his scout. He lost his scout, so he might not spot the rush incoming. But we'll see what he does. If he goes for safe play, which it does seem like he will. He's starting a barracks against 2 barracks from Diarouga. Both players starting
Both
two
two
barracks.
barracks.
Yeah, and this is the situation that I talked about before. Now not having this hunt is such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Because
this is like
He's gonna run
yeah,
right
this
out
is
of
like
food in no time.
3,000 food that he's not having that he could have had like behind his base,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that can really mean the difference between winning or losing. Also, his TP kind of in an awkward spot, but at the same time, it will scout any army incoming, and it will also delay. Um,
The pressure
Diarouga's
to his
muskets.
base.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see Lucas adding a stable, so he can raid. He's on the defensive, so he'll take more idle time to his eco if he's being pressured hard. And Diarouga foregoing the TP means that he has more steam early on, but he'll run out of steam faster. So he kind of has to make something happen, and trying to kill that TP is definitely a play to do it. That said, there is 10 musketeers incoming from Lucas that can deny anything going down here, and because he had his TP up, he already has 4 vills while Diarouga doesn't.
Right. And
I
also
hope he
sieging.
stays close to the TP because he's going back too far both times, I feel like, and he kind of just given up on saving it. I feel like he could have
He's
saved it there.
also, yeah, and he could have saved it for another 5 seconds to get the pass there.
Yeah, exactly. A bit. I wouldn't call it sloppy, but not the optimal
Not the
play there.
sharpest.
Yeah. And now Diarouga kind of pushing into his base, getting a trade there. One musket being pushed back, but see the beast being called into the fight. He has great coats. Diarouga does not have great coats. So if Lucas adds a stable, which he might not, he's going for a second TP.
Yeah, it's gonna add the TP instead of a stable.
Yeah. Not sure if I like that. I feel like at this point he doesn't need the TP anymore. He needs a stable. Like we saw Diarouga adding a stable now, and he established map control, and it will be really hard for Lucas to kind of challenge that if he doesn't have enough production of his own. And he's now trying to hurt this hunt in the bottom that he didn't hurt earlier, but if Diarouga catches on to that, he might push him away from there, and there's really nothing that he can do about it. 700 coin coming in. He might try to age up.
Yeah, but it
I don't know what's the best decision here. We see 600 wood coming from Diarouga basically at the same time, so he's no longer behind in shipments, and now catching on to that hunt being herded. Or no, he catches on to the TP, so he's going to the TP. Yeah. He's sending 600 wood, and this is kind of the meta play where you send 600 wood and you make like 10 bows and you ship 8 bows. Losing a vill there. Better concave from Diarouga. He probably coming a little bit ahead in that fight there, and dodges out back in time to go back to his base safety. And probably, yeah, we see now 10 bows coming out, and this is kind of the window where he can do damage. Both armies have about the same amount of musketeers, but these 10 bows really allow Diarouga to control the fight. He can one-shot musketeers now and kind of force them back. And Lucas can't take this fight right now. He's being outnumbered, but also being out-compositioned here. So, and these bows can just continue to be annoying. And because he doesn't have a stable, he can really never challenge the bow count. He did send 8 bows of his own, but it's not enough, and he's gonna lose 1 vill, maybe 2 vills. No, only 1. Diarouga not taking any risks here, continuing to kite back and forth. Really good control out of him. 8 bows now from his ship from Diarouga as well, and he made 3 hussars to kind of be annoying and raid.
Yeah.
He is being outmassed in the musketeer count right now, so he has to be careful. But I think that when these 8 bows join the fight, then he's gonna be okay.
Also having raid presence out, which is gonna be a drag on Lucas's APM.
Yeah.
And once again, you predicted it at the very start of the game that hunt would be critical, and Lucas is really getting punished for it. Just gonna go for this fight though, by the looks of it.
No, he's gonna raid. And yeah, the musketeers kind of being miscontrolled there by Diarouga. I feel like he walked them in maybe a bit too much, but in the end, those 8 bows reinforcements kind of powering through there. 10 musk actually do pop in time to kind of thwart this raid, but then at the same time, more musketeer reinforcements coming in from Diarouga as well. And all in all, the fight went pretty well for Lucas, but not having those 10 bows really kind of screwed him up, and his 700 coin I feel like was a bit useless. You don't need 700 coin to power double Rex Musketeers
And
if you
now
don't have a stable.
he's floating 850 coin and doesn't have any food. So
Yeah, there's still
700
a hunt
coin
on
definitely,
top that he could access, but yeah,
and these
600
vills
wood
he's
would have
just gonna
been the
end up
better.
losing
Yeah, 600
because
wood
yeah,
would have been the better
Diaruga
play.
definitely, and Diaruga catching on right now. So it looks like
Yep.
Lucas just gonna slam all his vills in and try
Yeah,
and
this
make something
will be
happen like
GG.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Diaruga playing really well here, keeping the pressure on the right spots. Sometimes we see players that kind of focus on the base too much and try to kill the base while the vills aren't there anymore. But Diaruga correctly identifying where the game has to be won, and he's applying pressure right there. 3 cavalry being shipped by both players now.
Gonna have a technical cav fight here.
Yeah,
Gonna play
both players are back.
gonna play time to micro. Oh, Diaruga's cheating.
Well, both
Brings
are
in
kind
three
of
more
cheating.
hus.
There's more Huss coming in, but also more Musketeers coming in. But at the same time, Diaruga responding quicker than Lucas again, and he brought his entire army to the fight, while Lucas kind of not wanting to move away there. I guess he's afraid, like, if his army leaves his vills are unprotected. So it might have been a feint there by Diaruga to lure his army there and then attack his vills.
Well,
It
with the
was not
size
a
of
feint.
Diaruga's army, it doesn't really matter. The vills are
Yeah,
essentially
exactly.
unprotected.
True.
He's just
The game is
yeah,
over probably
definitely,
right now.
definitely
This
finished
this
now.
push will end the game.
It's just
His
gonna clean
entire
up
Musk
everything
mass will
here.
get destroyed, and the cavalry can just raid the vills here.
A good effort from Lucas. Now shipping spice trade of all
Yeah,
things.
I think that's just a desperation. He doesn't have anything anymore that he can really ship that's useful. I mean, if you're like this behind like this, spice trade I suppose is a way to try and get back into it. I would have maybe preferred eco theory, but at the same time, he does need a lot of food. Good game being called, and again, kind of the same thing happened last game. Diaruga just having a bit more crisp idea of what he wanted to do, and Lucas putting up a valiant fight, but in the end, he's just kind of being. He doesn't have enough experience, I feel like, but I feel if he does play Supremacy a lot, he can do really well, and he might be a contender for next tournament for sure. So far, what I've seen out of him.
Yeah, definitely playing quite well. Hopefully, you actually are coming through on the stream well enough. I never actually checked if your audio was good. I'm sure it's fine. But that's game two. Diaruga taking that one as well for just the same reason as last time, just a higher mechanical skill and just a crisper build.
Yeah. Lucas picking Aztec.
Perhaps we'll see a non-mirror.
Yeah.
See
Although
what.
I know Diaruga has been trying to play Aztec for a bit now, so he might want to mirror it. But uh, at the same time, there are a lot of other civs that I feel like do good against Aztec that he might pick. So he might go with Germans. He might go with Brits. Ottomans is another option that he could go for. Generally, Euro civs do well against the Aztec composition, whereas Asian civs do kind of not so well. More because they're slower, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
They're considering India. That's where he got his nickname from, the India Ruga.
I will. He said that he said, I don't know if going in diarouga is a good idea, and the reference just flew straight over my head.
I think it
Wow.
was Breeze Brothers who coined him that nickname,
Hmm.
and he kind of adopted it. It was supposed to be an insult, but now it's kind of a running gag. So I suppose that's the right way to respond to those kind of things.
Just adopt it
Yeah,
as part of who you are.
yeah, and it's a nice little pun. I mean,
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
the matchup is India against Aztecs with the diarouga, aka India Ruga, playing India, of course, and Lucas playing Aztec.
Aztecs at the top of the map.
Last time we did apparently miss a map screw, so I'm just gonna pay attention to it
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit better now. Um, I'd say it's quite equal now. Both players having 2 4 mines quite close to them, and then there are 2 more mines, 3 more mines in the middle. I'm not that sure how Great Plains is supposed to pan out, um, but I'm just gonna say 4 mines each and then 3 in the middle. So I'd say that's okay. And then they have both players having a bison hunt and a deer hunt close enough to be herded. And then
yeah. Just Hunt's looking slightly better for Lucas, and mine's looking just slightly better for diarouga.
yeah, 1 2 3 4.
Just for closeness, but other than that, the resources are fairly equally
Yeah,
spread. I do remember some threads on the forum about casters not looking up for map screws,
yeah.
but Lucas obviously a pretty good sport about it.
Yeah, I'd say it's fair. I mean, it's not totally balanced, but it's not. I don't think it will run
It's not
into. Yeah,
it's not unbalanced
no.
either. Um, who do you feel? How do you feel this matchup is favored towards India or Aztecs?
I really don't know. I think Aztec is favored in this matchup, but India is still India, and if you make a mistake against India, then it's really scary to kind of. It's kind of that Civ that won't die. They can lose battle after battle, and then they still have like a sick eco, and
Hmm.
somehow manage to come back. At the same time, there are a lot of people saying now that India is quite weak, and in some matchups they do feel weak in some ways. But I feel like 10-10 is probably still quite strong, or a Sepway rush in some situations. And I feel like even though it seems like kind of counterintuitive, my experience has been that the the worst the worst or like the hardest thing for Aztec to deal with against India is a Sepway rush, because they're kind of they age up fast, but they're kind of slow to make units, and the first units that they can make um, don't really stand up well against Sepoy until you get like a big mass of
Of
mace that
Mace,
you
yeah.
can one shot Sepoy. Then it starts to become Aztec favorite, but before that time, kind of like 10 mace don't do that well against 12 Sepoy, especially if there are like 2 elephants tanking in front that just won't die.
And stomping. You get one good stomp in, and that can be
Yeah,
huge.
exactly. But we will see defensive play out of Diaruga. No forward aggro blockhouse, aggro fort. Um, and we'll
Well,
see if we'll see a fast stage out of Lucas or not.
Lucas already up, just as Diaruga was setting down his fort, so
Yeah.
that would make
Oh,
me
he was already
uncomfortable
aged. I didn't
if I
notice that.
was like 5% aged and my opponent was already up.
Lucas did get like
Even
sick
if I have,
treasures. He got 140 food and now 80 wood, 80 food as well. And Diaruga getting 80 wood, which is nothing to scoff at either. But
hmm.
uh, yeah, Lucas getting a lot of food. He got like close to 300 food.
Wow. So
And
maybe gonna try and do exactly what Boning did earlier today and just play a nice
I
crisp.
wouldn't make pikes that much in this matchup. Coyote do just fine, but yeah, if he does a real hard rush, it will be hard for Diaruga to deal with it. I mean, if now he started 700 with, which obviously is the right choice. Um, Do you know what he shipped after? Did he already ship a next shipment or not?
Nope, 3 Vils, 700 wood for Lucas,
Yeah.
and
So
Diaruga's still just on
yeah. So I feel like
his
if
trickle.
Lucas now ships 10 plus 9 mace and he makes like coyotes and ships his big button, then he can do a lot of damage because by the time he has like 40 pop army or something, he can Diaruga will have like 10 pop. So,
Yeah,
but
Diaruga also housed here and just getting up, and just now is going to be able to ship his first shipment. We're going to see what that's going to be. Doesn't actually look like he shipped, judging
he
by his
probably shipped
population.
600. But
Yeah, he
I
didn't
feel
ship
like
a
Lucas
military
is doing it a bit wrong. He's making mace and he's shipping
pikes.
pikes. I don't know. I suppose the pikes do give him siege potential. I would have personally done coyotes and then make a ship mace. Sorry, make coyote ship mace. But perhaps this variation can do damage as well. I mean, as you can see now, we have like 20 pop army from Lucas, and Diaruga has 2 Sepoy on the field.
Yeah, which really aren't going to do much good against the 10 mace.
No, exactly. But he's losing pikes, and I mean, it's kind of hard to replace those pikes. So I feel like this is not really the best play because he already lost. He
Does pick up
lost 2 pikes.
does pick up 1 Vil though. Might
Yeah, he
might
did.
be getting a second.
And he is now gonna try and work away on those Sepoy as well. And now Coyote kind of coming in here to intercept these units. And Diaruga trading Gurkha here. And those Coyotes can kill these Gurkha quite easily, I feel. He decides to ignore the elephants. Maybe he should have killed those first. At the same time, he is now gonna kill these Gurkhas kind of without trouble. He did kill a house for it.
He also picking up
did
a
lose his
house.
6 spikes, so he's if 4 Sower come now as the next guard, he's kind of being in trouble for anti-cav. So he either has to gather coin or make like a lot of more coyotes.
Diaruga also losing another Vil there. And
all
he
in all,
is
this pressure
housed,
doing
so
yeah.
he
He's
did ship
housed. He
600
doesn't have
wood.
a market. He doesn't have units.
He doesn't
So
have a market.
he's quite in a bad spot. Did he ship 300 export?
Yeah, just shipping it now, so going up with his consulate.
Making a hidden consulate there. Kind of desperation play from Diaruga.
Yeah, definitely gonna want his Ottoman consulate out though if he's gonna.
Yeah, for sure, for the Minutemen. 600 wood now being shipped from Lucas, so he put on the pressure, and now let's see if he'll be able to transition out of it. I would love him to get a TP. Not sure if he will.
Yeah, definitely just try and transition out of the pressure a little bit and just cash in.
Diaruga now adding a stable, so probably he'll try to go for this Zambrek Gurkha composition that we heard H2O mention so many times and really being a fan of.
It's a composition I find that just doesn't die.
I mean, it's really strong. Like it's just a weaker version, or of well, maybe not weaker, but like at least right now a weaker H2 version of Skirm Goon, and as we all know, that's kind of the strongest or like the easiest go-to composition in the game.
Yeah, if you want to just kill units and not buildings ever.
But at the same time, he doesn't have any Zams out, and there are now like 18 coyotes on the field, and there are like 12 mace, and his Gurkhas are unprotected, and it does seem like Lucas is gonna identify where they are. He is now trying to
massive army of Minutemen.
The Minutemen will do really well here. He did pick off the sentries immediately, so that was good play from him. He is gonna lose a lot here, but Diaruga also losing like all his units, and I feel like Diaruga will have a tougher time to reinforce here. And 9 mace will probably come any moment now from the Aztec player as well.
Also, Lucas not going to have to deal with any more Minutemen at all, so the TC's going to be absolutely no risk to him.
Yep. TC fire still strong though, and the aggro fort here firing away, but
Gonna lose
the
another
pike,
house
the
by the looks
pike,
of it.
that one hero pikeman is gonna pick off one more house, and that, yeah, kind of. I would love them to go for the stable. Yeah, because now 3 sowers kind of catching off these mace out of position. If 4 more mace were shipped or 5 sepoys, Lucas can be in a bad spot. So I would love him to get on out of there, and that's exactly what he does. I mean, he idled a lot. He is now shipping 600 coin, and that signals to me that he will make pikemen, some more pikemen, and I feel like that's a good idea.
He
He saw
also
that there's a barracks up, so
he also
sorry, a
forced out
stable.
a boatload of Minutemen.
Yeah, he did. And those are gone now. So realistically, there's not much that can still pop out of the town center. I mean, there can still be
Besides
4
shipments.
sower and 5
Yeah,
5
four sowers coming out now, so
yeah.
diarouga just placing faith in hand cav.
Yeah, but we
Sower
saw
is not a
already
great
from
option
Lucas
against
that
coyote runners,
no, but
generally
Lucas is
speaking.
already making the right response. He knows that Diaruga is banking on like catching him off guard with pikes, and that's why he sent 600 coin, and he made 5 pikes, and probably we're gonna see a lot more pikes coming out of him. He has a lot of vills on coin right now, maybe too many vills actually on coin here, but I feel like if he makes 5 more pikes, then he can just go. He should make 5 more pikes, 5 more mace, and then just push out. We see that Diaruga has pure cavalry army here now.
Yeah, and he popped out some Zambraks and has a Zambrak and a Gurkha in queue, so definitely going to go for just a standard 3 unit composition.
I do not like the angle that Lucas is pushing now. I would have preferred that he went the other way and kind of attacked from the south into this stable.
Yeah.
He's going the other way around. I suppose it's okay. That's where a lot of vills are too. So, but he should be careful here. I mean, India is a strong civ, and we can see that the scores are being equal, and he should be careful with those, with losing too many mace, because he's gonna need the mace to kill the Zams. If the mace are dead, then he cannot kill the Zams. A huge
Big
stomp there
stomp.
coming out of Diaruga, but also there are not enough Gurkhas here to kind of kill off the pikes, and
And
they
the
are just
Pike's just
powering
doing
through
work
there.
right now.
Yeah, a lot of cavalry going down. A lot of coyotes on vills though. He should
Uh,
micro them on the Gurkhas. I feel like.
yeah, diarouga not really losing. I don't think diarouga lost too many bills there, just using them to soak up a huge amount of damage, but now just
But
scattering everything out of his
just
base and going to take down another
just again,
house.
yeah, exactly. Just again, Lucas taking out, kind of resetting the army here for Diaruga, and that's what he has been doing constantly. He's been killing Diaruga's army so that India can't get a big enough mass to deal with what the Aztec player has.
Got a nice
5
5
sepoy are
sepoy.
coming though, and 5 Zams also, and 5 Gurkha were being trained. Coyote combat in the on the field as well, and it's still really close this game. But it just seems that there are too many Aztec units swarming everywhere, and Diaruga having a tough time trying to micro his units. And he did kill like a lot of pikes, and he killed all the mace. But he just made 5 Gurkhas, and they ran into 5 Coyote runners, and this is kind of the story of the game. Every unit he makes, as soon as it pops out, it dies.
Yeah,
And
that's
in
the
the
story
meanwhile,
of
on the back of
India.
that, Lucas has been like gathering resources uncontested, while Diaruga has had a lot of vills idle or dead throughout the game. I would
Nice.
love to see another block war hut from Lucas though. If he continues it like this, he might kind of get, I don't know.
Just
The
worn
only
down by building
yeah,
fire.
yeah. The only
But
thing realistically that can threaten him right now is 5 those 10 tiger claws, I suppose. But the Zam's now doing a real good job against the Coyotes. He's gonna lose one of the Zams, maybe 2, because they were snared kind of.
yeah, Lucas did do an equally good job of he split up his coyote runners quite nicely,
Yeah,
so they all
true.
attacked,
Yeah,
so that all of the
and he
everything
does
was
clean
snared.
up four Zams for that. And he's now still harassing constantly. And he just shipped 5 vills, so I feel like if he adds another war hut, which he's doing now, then he can really keep trading like 2 kinds of units at the same time. And I feel like that there's no way that diarouga can deal with that. Um, he just took too much eco damage so far. I don't know how
Somehow,
much export he has.
329. So not
Not enough for the
not enough
cavalry.
for hussars,
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
definitely doesn't have time to switch consulates for anything else. Not that he would
And
want
these
to do that,
spikes,
actually.
they are so strong. They have so much siege, 48 siege. It's really crazy.
Hmm.
It's
Pop
like
got another
more
5
than twice
Zams.
as much siege than a musketeer. Town center fire, however, doing quite well against them, and the aggro
Yeah,
fort also firing away at them
yeah, that
constantly.
is the only the big problem with those pikes is that they're classified as oh no, wait a
Siege.
minute, as siege units. Yeah,
Yeah.
but actually that just saves them damage against the aggro fort. The only problem
No,
that
no,
they
no.
run into is
It does,
Miniman.
yeah. It
But
doesn't
those
save
are
them damage against the TC then.
no, just the aggro fort.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so kind of, I
Somehow
mean, a little
Diaruga's still
waste. So
alive.
yeah, but he's now out of hunts, and I feel like at this point, as soon as Lucas realizes that he's gathering there, he can just pressure it. Diaruga nowhere near enough army to defend that spot.
And just
Uh,
wait away from
yeah,
his aggro.
he's probably gonna ship 10 tiger claws because he has a lot of vills on food. So
Lucas recognizing that
yeah,
immediately
but he
is
should be
running in.
careful. He can't take this fight right now. I feel like the Zam's just too good. They also have camel combat on them right now. So I feel like Lucas is in a good spot, but he should be careful. I mean, he doesn't have much anti-cav right now, and if 10 tiger claws do come,
He's
um,
gonna lose his entire army.
yeah. And he kind of moving all his mace into the elephants. That's exactly not what you want to do because they do area damage.
And because of stomps, which are just
Yeah.
insane.
He's losing a lot here, and that was really a bad fight from Lucas. And I hope that he doesn't throw away his advantage
Oh,
like last time.
gonna
However,
get in
he
a
did
huge
manage
raid.
to, yeah, he did manage to push off the Gurkha, the Zams and the Gurkhas, and kind of isolating the Vils here, and that was his plan all along. So, really good idea there from Lucas. Perhaps not the best execution, but good idea nonetheless. And
Yeah, I'm gonna clean up huge
a
amount of
lot of
bills
bills.
here.
He's at the moment he's just realizing that he's ahead economically and he's just sacking like units, trading units for eco at this point. And I do think that that's a good decision as long as he doesn't throw away too much. He still has to be careful that once India gets a really strong army, it just gets like unkillable for Lucas. And India has trickles, so they always gather some form of resources, and now 4
Also
hussars
now
also
getting
come in. Yeah,
3.
so he did his damage, but now he should just kind of stop attacking. I feel like and remass and then go for one last push to kind of finish it off. Diarouga now gathering here, and Lucas should realize that he pushed off this hunt, and now Diarouga has to be somewhere else. A third war hut coming down. Not sure if I'm a fan of that. I would have preferred maybe TPs.
Oh, deletes it actually.
Ah, yeah. He probably realizes that he doesn't need it, that he needs it to make units more. But yeah, I don't know if I liked the last that last engagement there out of Lucas, even though he did kill a lot of Vils. I feel like if he had saved it up and gone now, he would have been in a much better spot. 4 Vils, however, coming out of Lucas, and
Now
just
he's
solidifying his lead. I
yeah,
feel.
has almost twice the economic population and almost in complete map control. All his villagers are reasonably safe,
Yeah.
aside from
But
these ones.
Diarouga did secure this hunt here, and Lucas has to be careful that he doesn't let Diarouga get a full composition out, because then it will be kind of hard for the coyotes to deal with the Zams, which are now fully upgraded. They have both the attack guards on them, so they'll really melt coyotes really fast.
Does Desert
I
Terror
would.
actually affect their performance
Uh,
against coyotes?
yeah, it doesn't list in the multiplier section, but it does improve it.
Oh yeah, it does say adds point 0.5 tall actions damage against coyote runners and
Yeah,
disciples.
it's just that that modifier is not listed when you look at it, but um, it's not 4 times though. I think in total, I think the total
Yeah,
that
it's
it
like
does against
2.5 or something or 3.
or 3. Yeah, I think it's 3. Um, Lucas now just getting out a full composition here, and I love that. He should, however, be wary not to give India too much time. I would have even maybe uh, like Lucas to age up. When he gets Eagle Runner Knights, it kind of puts a nail in the coffin here for India.
Luca's just having huge macro issues right now. Not sure why Aztec might be stacking so much food. He's on 1600 food and climbing rapidly in
Uh,
60 coin.
yeah, not sure why he's doing that either. He
Maybe
can
there's
he can
something
shift
fun
those
I don't know
vills.
about. And
These
like
vills
he's
are running now out of food, so he's gonna switch them off to another resource. He's putting it
still
a lot of them
not
on wood.
not deciding to gather any coin at all. So
Yeah, so he's probably just gonna mass coyotes, and he should make
and
more mace
mace.
though. Yeah, he should make a lot more mace because, as you can see now, India does have like a decent army of Gurkhas and a decent army of Zams here. Uh,
Actually has an equal military population, which is obviously
yeah,
for
that's gonna
Aztecs
be
it's a
scary.
disaster.
We do see that Lucas just shipped 600 coin, so that's perhaps why he was stacking coin. He is now dancing for warrior priest, so he's really just transitioning into the late game here. Might just decide to sack that warhut, but seems like he's gonna fight for it. Don't know if I like that. He doesn't have nearly enough mace here, I feel, and this fight might go really bad for him.
Especially because the coyote's not doing very well at all.
Yeah,
Micro
they're
Baron.
just being clumped up there, and kind of I feel like this is a really bad fight for him. He could have just waited, fallen back to his base. He should remember to also call the big buttons, and yeah, like right now all the coyotes are dead, and he had so many of them, and India didn't lose that much in that fight. A lot of Gurkhas still alive, a lot of Zams still alive, even some of the Hussars still alive, and that was just as bad as it's gonna get for Lucas in that fight, pretty much. Um, I hope that he realizes that he shouldn't feed in units into that anymore. He does seem to realize it right now, and I feel like he should just go raid um, diarouga. And realistically, another bad fight like that, and he might be in trouble because if you look at the map right now, he's out of hunts. Um, he's out of hunts pretty much. This is like the last hunt, and he no longer has the army to kind of challenge diarouga here, and it seems like kind of inexperience and indecision from Lucas might cost him the fight again. And this is the second time already that we've seen that. The same thing kind of happening in the China mirror, and Lucas again taking a terrible fight. I have no idea what's going through his head right now. Why he is sacrificing his entire lead to save one warhut.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no reason for him why he should have been fighting that, and
Well, he also was
he's
close. He also was close to 1,000 wood.
yeah.
So he
He
could
should
place those
transition into
warhuts.
mills right now. Yeah, he could have easily. I don't know. Oh my God, this is
I'll just say GG. um, but yeah, you're right. He definitely.
I am really kind of no, Diaruga is saying that it was over now, but I don't believe that. Even now, I feel like Aztec is okay. I mean, he's not in the best spot anymore, but Aztec units are really cheap, and it's 23 minutes. He can like call all his big buttons and pull back a huge army like within a minute if he does it right. But he just
Mhm.
didn't. He didn't really remember his big button. He didn't use his big button at all, and Diaruga kind of winning this game Um, I mean, I wouldn't say it's undeserved because he did do well to kind of hang in there and come back from it. But I
Yeah,
really, yeah, Lucas just losing the game over a Warhut here, and I feel like it may be a little bit of a tilt. Um,
yeah,
he he
definitely.
he played he outplayed Diarouga really hard in this game. I feel. Anyway, that does conclude the series 3-0 in favor of Diarouga. Kind of the expected result, even though
Lucas definitely deserved this
yeah,
game.
Lucas put up a really good fight. I didn't expect him to put up such a good fight, and I don't know if that's because Diarouga didn't play his best or whether Lucas just played really well.
Hmm. But that does conclude the uh, that does conclude the stream.
Yep.
Um, Nothing else for today until Saturday SmackDown, which should be soon enough. But yeah, good performance from Lucas, but definitely through the game. Not gonna sugarcoat it because yeah, he could have just made so many units and just steamrolled
Yeah.
Dairuga's poor little army. And those Zambraks are just cancerous. If you snare them, they just go down like so easily. It's ridiculous. But
Yeah, he kind of forgot the big buttons, and that's experience really that you have to.
you have to
Yeah,
remember because
yeah, exactly.
he outgathered Dairuga by 8,000 resources.
He was in such a commanding spot. Like, I mean, this is something that's it's really coming down to experience here because uh it's just something that you would do. You kind of see that one building under pressure and you want to respond and to defend it like at all cost, but you have to just like relativate it and go like it's only one war hut. I still have like two or three other war huts on the map. I have
He
a lot
also
of
had
wood.
a lot of wood.
Yeah, I can easily remake them. You could have even dropped like four war huts in his base and go age up and still win the game as long as he didn't lose his army there.
Hmm.
And even when he did, he could have like put all his vills on coin and get like big button tax and defend his base. Really, I don't know.
Eagle Runner Knights as well
Yeah, Eagle
would
Runner
spell
Knights would have done so
disaster.
good. Yeah, veteran upgrades in general would have. I mean, he also could have made a lot more mace. If he had like 20 more mace in that fight, he would have probably won the fight. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we could talk forever. There was just
Yeah.
dozens of ways that Lucas could have taken this game nice and easily, but like you said, probably a bit of a tilt. Um, not overly confident against a player like Diaruga, um, or just didn't feel like playing anymore, or it was just the best he could do, and he just wasn't playing at his best under the pressure. But in any case, that's gonna do it for the stream, and we're gonna